Denzel Beats. Denzel Beats.
Feel the power of you controlling your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You've got your legs crossed, your back straight, your eyes closed. You remember the truth. You know the truth. That you were born to win, to take control of your life the way you take control of your breathing. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. So let's do that right now. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can as we begin our day today in the best way possible. Winning the morning, winning our mind, and growing our minds and our bodies. And whatever we do. So right now, let's see ourselves doing the best walk we've ever done when that music shuts off. Right here, right where we are, right where we sit. Because we know the truth. After all, we're made of truth. We're made of the same stuff the universe is made of. That's what makes you infinitely intelligent. See yourself right now doing the best walk you've ever done when that music shuts off. When that music goes off, you're going to win. You're going to make it real. You're going to make your dream, your vision, real.
living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you sexed and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you sexed and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! It might seem crazy.
Alexis, spare man, Pedro, and Lionel Messi walks it in. Pedro.
Good morning, guys. By now, you can probably tell that I am positively obsessed with the power of the human mind. One of the things I heard before, I've read it over and over in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, is this. The number of lines that connect all the different brain cells, neurons in our brain is represented by the number 1 followed by 15 million zeros. So the number 1 million has 6 zeros.
The number 1 billion has 9 zeros. Now try to follow that pattern and imagine. That is phenomenal to me. When I heard that, the scientists have figured that out, and they've realized that the human mind has interconnections, and they're all organized in an organized fashion, and they make astronomical numbers look minuscule. I thought, wow, we all have the most powerful thing in the universe. Hope this helps everyone. Have a great day.
We are talking all about positivity and reprogramming the mind. I think that this is one of the most important topics because everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. And so often we have no idea of what's going on inside our head. But we do, because we can look outside of us and it's manifesting in our lives. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so we've all, including myself, we've all struggled with this whole idea of how do I get this dialed in so it moves me forward towards my goals. It moves me forward towards my mission. It continues to move me forward towards a movement and doing that. So thank you all for being here and being with me today. This is cool. So here's a couple things that I'd love us to start this off with before I get to a framework that I think you're going to love. I'm going to give you a framework. I'm going to give you 9 anchor points to do this and make that happen. But one of the things that I have heard through the years, is find someone that's doing what you want to do and model what they do. How many have heard that? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Here's the thing. Yeah, it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong, at least in my estimation. Here's why. I can do what others do. That doesn't mean I will have what others have. What I actually need to model is not the doing. It's the thinking. I would rather sit down with someone and say, hey, what were you thinking? Is parenting. I mean, I remember asking my son, what were you thinking? And I got asked that a lot too as a child. But the reality is that when we model their thinking, we can duplicate their doing. Does that make sense? And so what we need to consider is this, because the fact is, if we look at, and we'll bring it back to money a little bit, but if we look at Warren Buffett, it's not what he did that has made him one of the wealthiest men alive, one of the best investors alive. It's how he thought that made him do the things he did. I would rather have a conversation around, hey, dude, not that I would call Warren Buffett dude, what are you thinking? What did you think when you made that investment? What was it that caused you to say yes? What was it that caused you to say no? What were you looking at? Because that's what we see out there in people's lives is not the cause of their result. It's the effect of the cause. The cause is the thinking. The cause is in here. And when we start to master that, that's where we start to think this through. Let me know, what is that? Tell me what that is. Yeah, it's an acorn. It's an acorn. Okay. Now, is it a tree or is it an acorn? Or is it both? Because here's the thing. What does this acorn need to actually grow? Because we need to understand that if I look at this as an acorn, what does it need to grow? It's the seed and the DNA of a tree. Absolutely. But what does it need to grow into that tree? What do we need to give it? Yeah. Sun, soil, water, nurturing, an environment, okay? Space, time, all those things. But here's the thing. If we don't give it the right beliefs, if we don't give it the right environment, if we don't give it the right space, if we don't give it the right time, it doesn't ever become that. If we see ourselves as an acorn when we're trying to be an oak tree, this is when we start to see, I mean, an acorn can be a oak tree with imposter syndrome. Okay? They don't see themselves as that. And so if we treat someone else or ourselves in that capacity, what do they see? What do they feel? What do they come out of? And my point is that as we start to look through these eyes, it becomes important for us to realize that we actually are both. We actually are a little bit of an acorn, always the potential to grow, and a whole lot of an oak tree. This comes from Aristotle's final form theory. Aristotle has the four causes, and he talks about his final form theory. And if it is alive, it will tend to move to its final form. It will do the things to do that. But in order for us to do that, we need to see ourselves in our final form. In our final form. Okay? So we've got to look at this, because too often we spend our time focusing on the fact that we are an acorn. And we can't see ourselves through or to the point of growing into that full potential. And this is where we start to look at things and say, gosh, how do I adjust my thinking to look at this? Because we actually are both in that process. And the space between the acorn and the oak tree is the becoming of who you were meant to be. Let me say that again. The space between the acorn and the oak tree is in the becoming of who you are meant to be. Okay? And the way we get there is having the awareness around the potential that you have, the potential that we are in the acorn, yet honoring the ultimate final form of the oak tree we're meant to be. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.
Crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.
DJ Rafi, you ready?
Great ball. Lies made the move. Pedro fights for it, gives it to Messi.
Good morning, everybody. Our top 10 rules for success journey brings us to Robert Kiyosaki, who in his second rule for success shares his wisdom and says that we should give more. The more we give, the more we receive. And again, this is a universal principle. We find it in every aspect of our lives, but it can be kind of counterintuitive when we're trying to get what we want, right? So I want us to remember this today and each and every day. The more work you give, the more time you give, the more you give to understand someone else, the more you're going to get back and receive in the long run, because the very thing that you are giving to other people is the thing that connects us all. And so when you give, you're also enriching yourself. You're giving of yourself, and that's enriching you, the character. So remember that. Hope that helps everyone. Have a great day.
Pay attention. Just pay attention. Just start to recognize the miraculousness of every moment and everything that shows up in your life. And even the fact that you can take a breath and that who you are is here now at this time in an infinity that has no beginning and no end. You showed up. Pay attention. Notice the trees. Notice the clouds. Notice the worms. Notice the birds. And as Maslow said, see the unfolding of God in everyone that you encounter. Pay attention. Be astonished. Just go through life being astonished. Rumi put it this way. He said, sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment. Get rid of your intellect and just go through life bewildered.
Wayne Dyer was an icon in self-development and spiritual growth. He wrote over 40 books with an astonishing 21 New York Times bestsellers. His childhood was spent in orphanages and foster homes, but he'd go on to inspire millions and become known as the father of motivation. In this exclusive speech from the Celebrate Your Life stage, Wayne Dyer shares with us the keys to live in the present moment, achieve real change, and become truly extraordinary. Special thanks to Liz Dawn for partnering with us to release this exclusive content on our YouTube channel. Enjoy.
What I would like you to do is to, there's a great teacher back in the 10th century, a Sufi teacher, his name was Talopa. He said, have a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing. So what I'll be asking you tonight is to really have a mind that is open to things that you may never have considered before. At this age that I'm at now, at 71, I find it's fascinating to look back at some of the things that have occurred in my lifetime. And when they show up, when they're happening to us, or to me at least, I'm not aware that they are part of a larger tapestry, a larger picture. But when you get to a certain place, you can look back and see how this particular event led to this event, and that occurrence led to that, and this insight led to that insight, and on and on and on goes that looking back hindsight kind of thing. And it's still happening. It's still happening for me right now. I got this new device that my kids got me. It's called an iPad, and I've only had it just a few months. And I don't know how to work hardly any of it because I write all my books by hand, and I have the same editor that I've had for 37 books, since 1971. That world of computers and so on. My oldest daughter, Tracy, loves to tell me that how much fun it is for her just to go to the airport for entertainment and to watch people in my age group try to just get on a plane. You mean I have to stick this thing in there, and then what happens now? Nothing is working, and I don't know, and it's invariably I need someone to come over there and help me to touch different buttons and so on. But one of the things that is on there is something called Facebook that I don't know anything about, and I've been informed I have like 700,000 friends on Facebook that I don't even know how to get it. I said, well, how do I get Facebook? Do I just type Facebook, and does it? So they tell me how to do these things, and I turned that thing on the other day and pushed the slide button, and up came my something on Facebook. I don't know what it was, but I was on there. and it had my name on it and listed all my friends, but didn't list them all. And there was a notice at the top of the sheet on the screen for somebody had just said, there's a book that you have to read. To me, Dr. Dyer, you must read this book. It's absolutely essential that you read it. What that means to me is that there's two things operating here. One is that I just turned this machine on and it happens to go to something that I don't even know how it got on there. My kids must have been playing with it or something, but so that's number one. And number two, then there's a letter to me and a book that's somebody's from France who is a physicist who has written a book about how to change the future through time travel. You know, how to, that the recognition that here we are, and I've been reading this book all day, and I'll get off of it in a few minutes, but it's just spooked me out because when these things happen, you know, I just finished a book. I just spent a year on a book, and I just did a public television special on it, and I recorded it, and I worked on it 5-6 hours a day every single day for 7 or 8 months. I'm not ready to write another book. But when these kinds of things happen for me, and I'm speaking to all of you, that when these sort of alignments begin to show up in your life, that it's really important to pay attention to them, because you'll get to a point later on in your life, which is now, because the future and the present and the past are just all illusions. It's all now. And at this moment that we're all in here right now was at one time a future in your past. And this moment that you're in right now is also a future, and this is that past. So this moment is really a future and a past. And they can't communicate with each other, the future and the past. I told you it's strange. The only way they can communicate with each other, your past and your future, is through your present. So your past can't get a hold of your future. The only way it can get a hold of your future and help you to change it, and literally, and I mean change it, and I know this to be true because what I was reading today is so aligned with what I've just completed and what I'm going to be speaking about tonight. This whole idea that we have within us the capacity to use our present moment to alter any future that might have even been our dharma, might have been something that we signed up for, might have been a direction that we were headed. That when we begin to recognize that when we put our attention on what we would like to be, and then the universe starts aligning in such a way that the kinds of things that I just described to you, turning on this iPad, which I didn't even have 2 months ago, and having a thing show up, and then having a note to me from somebody in France telling me about a French author who has written a book about how to go into time and literally change what you may have been destined for, or the direction that you are headed, and that you can do it like instantaneously. And one of the most important ways that we do it is in our sleep, particularly as we prepare ourselves for sleep to enter into our subconscious mind, all of which is coming up in about an hour. But the reason I say this to you is because when this kind of thing happens, this is what I know about myself now at age 71, is that when things like that happen, I know that I will be... This is just the very beginning stages of my writing something and uncomplicating, because that seems to be what my life mission has been about, which is taking complicated, difficult things for most people and putting it into terms that people understand. My teacher, when I was a young doctoral student, was Dr. Abraham Maslow. Dr. Maslow died on the 8th of June, 1970, at almost the same instant, within an hour of the time that I was walking across the stage in Detroit at Cobo Hall to receive my PhD. And my whole doctoral study work was on self-actualization and higher consciousness, and how average people can achieve that. And it was almost as if he taken these concepts of self-actualization and higher awareness and talking about that there are people who are extraordinary in virtually all facets of life, and that all of us are really programmed for extraordinariness, but we unfortunately have allowed ourselves to be ordinary. And he talked about these behaviors and ideals and thought patterns and things that separate out and differentiate people who reach these exalted levels of consciousness, who are able to do what Jesus said in the New Testament, that even the least among you can do all that I have done, and even greater things. I've always just taken that literally, that we're all capable of these miracles, but we don't often recognize that old Sanskrit saying that when the student is ready, the teachers will appear. The problem is that the teachers are appearing all the time. They're everywhere in everything that we do, and many times we don't even recognize who they are. Mother Teresa once said that every day I see Jesus Christ in all of his distressing disguises, so that person begging on the street might be your greatest teacher, or even the person sitting next to you that you didn't even know before, or that you met on the way in, or whatever. There's a wonderful poet. Her name is Mary Oliver. She wrote Wild Geese, my favorite, all-time favorite poems. They ask her, what is it that differentiates out people from higher consciousness and the rest? She said three things, three simple things. She said, my advice always, and she was born the same year I was. She lives out in Cape Cod, written many, many great books of poetry. You'll hear a lot of poetry tonight. I've been writing a lot of it myself. She said, if I had to give any advice to people, it would be this. Number one, pay attention. Just pay attention. Just start to recognize the miraculousness of every moment and everything that shows up in your life. And even the fact that you can take a breath and that who you are is here now at this time in an infinity that has no beginning and no end, that you showed up. Pay attention. Notice the trees. Notice the clouds. Notice the worms. Notice the birds. And as Maslow said, see the unfolding of God in everyone that you encounter. Pay attention. Know that this world that you're in, this physical body that you're in, is not who you are at all. Pay attention. And number two, she said, I would tell them, be astonished. Just go through life being astonished. Rumi put it this way. He said, sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment. Get rid of your intellect and just go through life bewildered. That's something that has happened to me in the last 7 or 8 months, particularly since I've had this diagnosis of leukemia, which I know most of you know about since ABC did a special on it with me in it. I was just sort of telling this reporter a little bit about it, and that became the whole focus. But it's been a great blessing at any rate. But miracles have been showing up in my life, that some of which I'll share with you the details of, because there's no better place to do it than here. I did it on the PBS show, but it'll be interesting to see what they allow on. I told a story that they already cut of how when people give you negative information that you don't want to hear, and how you should just put it in, like this wonderful thing about the iPad is that I love this thing, is that it has a little button on there called trash. I just think that should happen in life. I mean, I would like to have one of those. So that every time somebody gives you any information that you don't want, that you don't need, or that is contrary or contradistinction to what it is that you intend to create for yourself, you just push trash. And you can actually watch it go into the trash bin. It's amazing. Whoop, makes a little sound. Whoop, goes right into trash. I love that. Then there's a button at the top that says delete, and it never comes back. Every negative thing that anybody ever tells you that you don't want to hear, that conflicts with what you are and what you intend to be, and you just push the trash button. I could say nothing more tonight and just leave, and that would be the best lecture you ever heard. Well, I guess I'll tell the story because... But I was telling them about, I had a little, about 3 years ago, I had a little thing on my chin. There's a little scar there, a little basal cell skin cancer thing, which is one cell. They just go down, they cut it out, and it's gone. So I was telling a friend of mine about that I had to go into the dermatologist, and they were going to do that. And she said, oh, my God, my girlfriend's husband had the very same thing, and they had to cut his penis off. I said, I just got a little thing on my chin. It's just a little red mark. It's like, no, he had that, and it was never even in the sun. So people are I mean, it's like, since people found out that I have this kind of leukemia, I get more messages about leukemia, especially the people that died from it. Oh, they send me their obituaries and tell me, you can never be too careful. And anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, PBS. So you're the only ones that'll get to hear that story. They left it out. I keep thinking about that guy, though. I mean, there has to be some karma in there somewhere. I don't know. So Mary Oliver said, be astonished. That is, go through life just blown away every day by everything and everyone that you encounter. Just see the miraculousness in everything. And don't try to be what everybody else wants you to be. E. Cummings.
I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Let's go!
We shake it off. Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. Whether we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right. Then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right. Then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up. turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Some days you'll feel like you're on top, but some days go down like a big old flop. But I know what to do when I'm feeling blue. I just gotta feel the groove. Don't care what others say. No one's gonna ruin my day. Put a smile on, don't be shy. Begin to dance, it's worth a try.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. We shake it off, now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way. Put your hands up in the air. When we dance, we don't care. Wave left, now right, then turn around and one more time.
Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it off, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side. Shake it up, turn around. Don't let bad vibes get you down. Put your hands up, wave left to right, then bring it all back to the other side.
Shake it off,
Turn around.
put your hands up, wave left to right, turn it around. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off.
Now turn around. We don't let no bad vibes get in our way.
Make it 44. Showed a
Good morning, everybody. Living, laughing, and loving our way to infinite mind wealth. This is our 4th episode. I want to share with you how I laugh at myself. Here I am right now in front of the camera, trying to get a positive message out to you. I got to tell you, and now I can laugh at it. When I first got on to do my first video, and actually it still happens, but not as much, I'm proud to say, my heart would start to pound. Like, I mean pound. I thought it was just going to come out of my chest. And when I think about it, I laugh at it now, and I hope you can laugh with me. It's amazing that what is going on in our mind, like there's no threat. There's nothing threatening me right now, nothing. But in my mind, there must be something, or is still something, or was something that is making me feel like there's a threat. But it's not real. And I can tell you each and every day, I'm winning, and so can you. So please remember that, laugh at me. And remember, when your heart pounds, you're on the verge of something great. Have a great day, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
So many people say, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I can't afford to buy real estate, I can't afford to buy Bitcoin. Well, the reason you can't afford to buy something is because you can't sell. And sales equals income. So back in 1974, my dad wanted me to go to the University of Hawaii and get my PhD. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to learn how to sell. He was upset. He said, salesmen are crooks, they're con artists. You know, it's not a very honorable profession. But that's why he was poor. You know, so many PhD types, academic types, they think they're above the capitalist process. They think their PhD entitles them to the better life. But if you go for your PhD, you really don't have the skill sets to be in the capitalist world. You know, like when my father ran for lieutenant governor and he lost, and the governor said to him, you'll never work in this state again. So the power the governor had over my dad was his job. And my father just couldn't sell. He just kept holding up his PhD, but he couldn't sell. And you know what I mean? And I saw that. And that's when my rich dad, who had no education at all, said, you better learn how to sell pretty quickly.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because when I started my first business, I really struggled to believe in myself. I was making $300 a month and quit on my business partner. And the thing that saved me was watching the stories of successful entrepreneurs. They gave me strategies as well as hope and belief that just maybe I could do it myself as well. And I hope that this video here today helps you get a little bit more belief in yourself, because I still need the videos for myself today too. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Robert Kiyosaki, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2 is study real estate.
So John and I, like I said, rugby players, play for the Hawaii Harlequins rugby team. And I'm talking to him, and he's telling me about all the rich people we knew in Hawaii who were going broke. I'm going, you got to tell that story. Because as I said, in 1974 was the first 401k. It was called ERISA, Employee Retirement Income Security Act. And I was still in the Marine Corps, and I was flying out of Hawaii. And I went to listen to these pitches on how to sell a 401k. And I said, these guys are lying through their teeth. Because the advantage I had is I had a rich dad and I had a poor dad. And my poor dad was the village idiot. He was a PhD, which stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. He ran the school system for the state of Hawaii, and he thought the 401k was wonderful. I'm going, you got to be kidding me. And my rich dad was my best friend's father. He goes, oh my God, boy, talk about a license to steal money from stupid people called employees. So I came from a different, so this is 74, I'm still in the Marine Corps. And the first thing my rich dad said to me, if you're going to be a rich man, you better learn 2 things right now. Be an entrepreneur, but he says you've got to learn how to sell. And secondly, you've got to know real estate. Because real estate is debt and taxes. And that's, what do you mean debt and taxes? So in 1974, I took my first real estate course and opened my eyes up, because you don't need money to buy real estate and you pay no taxes on top of it. So just before I get out of the Marine Corps, I get a job with Xerox to learn how to sell. So I got sales, and then I understood real estate. So why am I a rich man today? Because I took 2 courses, learn how to sell and learn about real estate. And my poor dad, the PhD, says, go back to school, get your MBA and get your PhD. And I'm going, then I'd wind up like you. A poor, highly educated man with a 401k.
Rule number 3 is invest in silver.
And today we have both good news and bad news. And the bad news is the world economy is collapsing. But the good news is the number one investment that everybody in the world can afford is silver. Everybody. And that's the good news. But will most people buy it? No, they'll save money instead. And they'll save money in spite of the fact that they're printing trillions of it. Gresham's law is in full force right now. Bad money is pumping into this system, and all these idiots, it's called financial stupidity. They're saving dollars. You got to be kidding me. And they're printing so much money. And the beauty of silver, let me say it again, everybody in the world can afford $20, or you can afford a dime. You can go to a coin store and say, I'd like a 1963 dime. You might pay $1 for it. But that's how stupid people are. They don't realize that silver has not only been an industrial metal, but it's also a monetary metal. It's been used as, payments for years and years and years.
Rule number 4 is step up your failure rate.
So I got this job at Xerox. The same story you have is I got my little handy dandy sales planner up. I'm dying. Let's say there's 20 sales guys at the Xerox branch in Honolulu. I'm dying. I'm like, and this guy Sanchez flies in from Western Region, Santa Ana. He looks at my sales thing, and I got all these appointments, but no sales. And I'm going to get fired. So I said, I can't. I'm working hard, but I'm going to get fired. Because I had no sales. So I go. My rich dad's office was at Waikiki, so I go to rich dad's office and I show him my planner. He looks at it. He goes, "Okay." He says, "Let me ask you this: how many?" And I had to knock on doors. I had no established accounts. The FNGs and the FNU guy has to always cold call. That's as brutal as it comes. So I'm cold calling in Honolulu. I'm getting nowhere, but I'm making a lot of cold calls. So I show my rich dad my sales planner, just like you do with your guys. And I said, my rich dad says, well, it's obviously why you're failing. I said, why is that? He says, you're not failing enough. He says, if you want to become successful, you have to step up your failure rate. I went, what? Because in my poor dad's family, the academics family, PhDs and all this, failure means you're not successful. And to my rich dad, failure meant you were getting successful. So his advice to me, and I'm working for Xerox, I'm probably 28 years old. He goes, you got to step up your failure rate. Find a way to fail faster. So that's when you get creative. I can only make so many sales calls a day.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5 is take risks.
What is the biggest difference between fear today versus fear 50 years ago versus fear 100 years ago versus fear 20 years ago? Isn't this a common thing? Like when market does well, economy does well, a few people are prepared for it. Most people kind of sit around, don't do anything about it. What's changed? And is that going to be happening 50 years from now, 100 years from now, where people capitalize and most don't?
Well, that's a fabulous question because, today when I refer to 2008, most people remember 2008. Do you know what I mean? That's when Lehman went down, Bear Stearns went down.
38% drop.
Yeah, they all remember it. But I want to say what you did was really, really smart, because the best time to start a business is right after a crash. I made more money after 2008 than ever in my whole entire life, because everybody was hiding like little cockroaches.
You made more money after 2008 than your entire life.
Yeah, so when, here I'm talking about the coming depression, everybody says, oh, you're such a pessimist, I go, no, I'm excited. I get sexually stimulated thinking about all the bargains that are going to be on the street. I mean, it's going to be bargains everywhere. But everybody else, oh, you're pessimistic. No, I'm actually optimistic. So anyway, so you're very smart. When I study business. Guys who start right after a crash do very well most of the time.
Rule number 6 is break bad habits.
If you have money, you have more power. If you have attractiveness and sex appeal and all that, you have more power. So I think one of the most misunderstood words here is power. And that's why we have Rollo on this program. It's about power. So, and whether and I don't know if you want it or you don't want it, but I would say most people want more money. People want to be more attractive, to be more, sexually attractive, or have great relationships and things like this. But also you want more power, the ability to do, because many people today are trapped. And when people lack power, their lives are kind of different. So power is simply the ability to do, and one of the biggest abilities is, can you change an addiction into a good habit? Can you take a bad habit into a good habit? So for example, ever since meeting Rollo and the gang, I was able to break my habit of overeating. I overeat every time I'm under stress. What do I need to do? I need to eat. And thanks to Dr. Nicole Shrednicki, an ultra-healthy human, and the encouragement of Rich and Rollo, I've been able to get my body back down to Marine Corps weight, and I'm 74.
And once again, legs crossed, Back straight. Eyes closed. Focused on our breathing. Back to our breathing. That powerful force keeping us alive, keeping our energy flowing. And we don't really think about it. We never really attempt to control our breathing, most of us anyway. But we were born to do that too. To remember that in any moment, we can take charge of it, the way we take charge of our breathing. Same way we take charge of our mind, our thoughts. So reflect back on today. How did you do? Are you satisfied with your work ethic? Are you satisfied with your determination? Did you use it in its fullness, its beauty? Our determination is invisible. We cannot put our finger on it. We cannot see it, but it is there. We have the power to determine what we will think and what we will do. Today, we've won the morning. We've won our minds, and therefore we can win our day and our life. One breath at a time, one thought at a time.